Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Which Brings Me to You, which is a new romance film from director Peter Hutchings, who previously worked on like The Hating Game and other romances, and this is based off of the novel by Steve Almond and Juliana Baggott, and Keith Bunin is the one who adapted this screenplay, with Lucy Hale and Nat Wolff playing Jane and Will, who meet at a wedding and are going to do it in the coatroom when they realize we should dump our whole entire souls and all of our relationship history on these strangers, and then go through a whole bunch of crap over the course of like a day, fall madly in love, like angrily lash out on each other, and then somehow think that, oh, we were meant to be together. This film, okay, positives right off the bat. Okay, it's shot fine, and I think the actors are committed. I think Hale and Wolff are charismatic enough. They lead this show. I think, like, John Gallagher Jr. is probably the biggest name supporting actor in this film, and I think he does a fine job, too, with his very tragic character that he plays. But that's about it. This movie is so frustrating. It leans into all of the worst urges of any romance film in terms of writing, the just thinnest, craziest, most illogical romance, where like these two jump so headlong into each other. This feels like a romance from like the 1920s. Like a movie like that where it's just like, oh look, you're so beautiful, we're gonna get married. And there's about that much depth to this relationship. And the film turns into them just doing all these flashbacks of remembering all their relationships, where a lot of these stories are equally as crazy, illogical, just the most crazy swinging motivations for their characters, where they make the most rash decisions possible. It's basically like you are not allowed to make a decision in this movie that would include you thinking for more than like an hour, or even honestly more than 5 minutes. Everything feels like it's like the spur of the moment. Oh, we're gonna be together, and there's these moments where it's just like this is going so obnoxiously cliched, terrible romance tropes, and then in the next moment it gets super like emotional and tragic because the tone of this has no idea what it's trying to be. And it is wild. It swings wild. The characters make absolutely no sense. It's like basically every decision is just made to reinforce that, hey, we should be a fun couple together and we'd be perfect because, you know, this is a movie, despite that they're extremely toxic, absolutely horrible for each other, and they both need therapy and should go nowhere near each other. But, you know, it's a movie, and it's like, oh my god, all these horrible things that you've told me or you've done to me, but I still have to be with you forever. And that's this movie in a nutshell. So, Bad Touch the movie. Yeah, not great. And definitely not the kind of romance, like, if you're super into romance stories and are okay, like, this feels like a beach read, to be perfectly honest, and I'm not sure that if like that's what the novel was or not, but at this point I just really feel like this takes relationships back like 70 years, and it was just not the kind of romance film that's going to get you hooked if you're not into romance films. Like, sometimes you could watch a film and it could really change your perspective on a genre. This isn't it. But I do feel like if you're really into like old school romances that are like, it's really melodramatic and really pulling on your heartstrings, very obviously manipulative and not doing a great job because you're noticing it, this is that movie. And if that's your kind of thing, you'll have some enjoyment with it. Just definitely not me. But those are my thoughts on Which Brings Me to You. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.